The promotion effectiveness report is going to allow you to look at incrementality of a specific promotion. Now we're going to use the example of an end cap. Let's say you have an end cap in a store for a couple of weeks. You can obviously say that it was successful because you sold out of the product. But what you can't tell by using point of sale data or inventory data is if people were new to the brand, if that end cap sparked them wanting to purchase, if they switched from one of your other brands to this brand. Maybe they were new to the retailer. They saw that it was a sale. They never purchased that category or brand before at that retailer, and it made them want to make that purchase. So promotion can be, of course, a variety of different things. Today we're going to look at promotion of beer over Memorial Day 2018. You'll find the promotion effectiveness report under the shopper module. Now, the promotion effectiveness report works best when you have an actual promotion because you need to put in specific dates. So we're going to use our product of Bud Light today. And I'm going to select the brand Bud Light. My category is going to be beer. I'm going to select my major category, beer. We're going to look at Kroger as a full retailer today. So performed at any store, we want to look at retailer Kroger. Select our retailer Kroger. And then during our promotion dates, we have to select a custom time period. So I'm going to come in here. Now I can either start scrolling back through the calendar, or I can simply type in a date. For this, it may just be easier to scroll back so I can look at the calendar right here. So if we're wanting to look at Memorial Day, that was May 28th, 2018. So I'm going to select the Thursday before through that Monday. Maybe I want to give people a few days to prepare for that Memorial Day barbecue, being out at the lake or the beach, whatever they might be doing. Now in our advanced options, there's quite a bit in here. The first thing that I want to do is select our other products in the portfolio. There's other Bud Light brands, and you'll see why in a moment when this report runs, but ultimately I want to see if people are coming and purchasing Bud Light from any other brand. So again, I'm just going to type in Bud Light. And if you have other brands within your portfolio that are different names, you would just type in whatever that brand name is to be able to find it. So we already have Bud Light selected, but I'm going to select maybe Bud Light Chelada, Lime, Platinum, Orange, maybe blends. I'm going to skip the mixed tail, maybe do the lemon tea and the golden wheat. The next thing we want to do is select a previous period. Now, because we're looking at a holiday, looking at the previous 26 weeks isn't probably going to mean anything to us. So what I actually want to do is look at the previous 52 weeks. That will hopefully get me to the same time period, that same Memorial Day holiday weekend 2017. And then in our post period, you have to select a number of weeks after the event to analyze. Now, we're coming up on Memorial Day 2019 at the time of this recording, but we're not quite there yet. So I want to go ahead and look at the last 26 weeks after the event. Now, you have to have as close to 13 weeks as possible. That's the minimum that you can run. So if you're running an analysis on maybe a promotion that you did 3 weeks ago, you're not going to get anything to fill out in the post-analysis tab of this report. From my experience, you need at least 10 weeks. Now you can run this report while a promotion is happening, but you're not necessarily going to get any post-analysis until you're closer to that 13-week mark. I'm not going to put a people group in. I'm going to go ahead and select 13 weeks. That's our minimum that we can run, and we'll talk more about that when we get into the report itself. You could put a people group in, all of these other things. We're going to go ahead and leave everything else the same, and we can hit run. Okay, so we have our report back. There's a lot of different information in here, so we're going to go step by step. First thing I want to do is I'm just going to minimize this simply so that we have a little bit cleaner picture because there is so much to look at with this report. Now, we have incrementality that we can look at for manufacturers or retailers. We're going to start with the manufacturer. There's 4 different buckets we're going to see in here. Repeat buyers, so people that have purchased Bud Light before. Intermanufacturer brand switchers, these are the people that maybe switched from a different brand within the portfolio, which is why it's important to put in other portfolio brands. Incremental switchers, which are people that have shopped the beer category before but have not purchased Bud Light, so likely they're coming from other brands or competitive brands. And then we have new category buyers. Now there are a variety of metrics we can select in here, but we're going to just stick with percent of households. So if I scroll down, we're going to see a promotion and a baseline. We can obviously see of all of the people that purchased Bud Light at Kroger during this time period, that would be the promotion bar, the percent of people that fall in, or percent of households that fall into each one of these buckets. However, we need to be able to compare it to something, and that's why we selected previous 52 weeks, because we want to compare what the norm is. So the system actually goes back 52 weeks to understand some sort of baseline. So in the previous 52 weeks before this promotion, that's where we get this bucket. So we can see of the people that purchased Bud Light at Kroger over Memorial Day weekend in 2018, there were substantially more repeat buyers. Looks like maybe a little bit more intra-manufacturer brand switchers. We did not see as many incremental switchers, and it looks like we did not have as many new category buyers. I can scroll down and be able to look at it nice and clean in here too. So you can kind of look at, here's my repeat buyer versus my repeat buyer of my promotion, and see where the growth has maybe changed. Let's go back to households and look at by retailer. Now the category buckets here kind of switch. So we have our repeat shoppers still. We have category brand switchers. So we're kind of taking the portfolio out and we're saying just in general people that are switching from other brands within the beer category. Then we have category converts. So those are those new category, new beer shoppers at Kroger. And then we have new retailer shoppers in general. Again, it's going to look at the promotion time period versus the baseline, so you can kind of see where things might have shifted. Looks like they definitely got a lot more repeat shoppers again. We do see a little bit more new retailer shoppers compared to the baseline as well. So this is where you can analyze what happened during that actual promotion, where people might have been shifting from, if they were truly incremental to your brand or to the category or to the retailer. Now the last tab in here is the conversion tab. This is where that post-analysis comes in. So before we dig into this, I do want to point out that the minimum you could select was 13 weeks, okay? If you were to do this analysis for a promotion that maybe ended 2 or 3 weeks ago, or maybe it's ongoing right now, you're likely not going to get anything to populate in this conversion tab. You'll get the promotion summary tab, but not the conversion tab. We have to have a minimum of 13 weeks to start filling this out, because essentially what this tab is going to do is say, since the promotion has ended, have people come back and purchased again, because that's where you can really show true conversion after an incremental spend. So we're looking at the post 13 week analysis here. So of all of those promotion buyers, anybody that purchased Bud Light at Kroger in that promotional period, which was about 224 people for that Memorial Day weekend that we saw, they spent on average about $17.22 per trip on Bud Light. Now what this next piece will do is it's going to break it out by new buyers and existing buyers. And then it's going to have a little bit of information below that. Let's look at the new buyer track first. So these new buyers, meaning people that bought during the promotion, but they have not bought Bud Light before at any store, not even just at Kroger, but at any store. So they are new buyers to Bud Light. That's about 19% of those households. They spent on average about $29. So we saw a much higher spend per trip for these new buyers. And then we can go a little bit further and say, of these new buyers, 3% of those households have come back and made another purchase after the promotion. Now that's a sample size of 5. Again, if you were to do maybe a post 52 week or post 26 week analysis, you'll get larger sample size there. We're just looking at the bare minimum. Then we can see that 16% of those people have not come back and made another Bud Light purchase since the promotion. Again, changing the time period for this post analysis might change the story here. We can go over to the existing buyer track. And 81% of these shoppers are existing buyers, so they have bought Bud Light in the past. 42% of them are incremental, meaning that they've purchased more Bud Light than usual since the promotion. And they're spending about $18.11. So we see a little bit higher spend per trip on these incremental shoppers, or these people that are purchasing more Bud Light than usual since the promotion. Then we have our subsidized, meaning people who have bought less Bud Light than usual, and that's about 27.5%, and they are spending less per trip as well. Then we also have about 12% of those households that have just not come back and purchased Bud Light again since the promotion. Now again, this report works best for actual promotion dates. That's it for the promotion effectiveness report. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on our Insights chat.